Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another very exciting Star Wars Outlaws video as we got even more new information about the gameplay in this game. Most notably, new information about the reputation system, the wanted system, and open world gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws. There's a ton of stuff to break down, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It'll notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload, and if you want to stay up to date on the conversation in real time, make sure to go over to Twitter and follow us at Lunar Squadron. Now with that all out of the way, Andreas, are you ready to talk about the highly talked about and anticipated reputation system?
Oh yeah, let's do this, guys. Throughout the marketing campaign for Star Wars Outlaws, we've heard so much about this reputation system. I would go ahead and say that it's safe to say that this reputation system is one of the core pillars of this game. At least that's what they've made it seem like. And thankfully, thanks to Game Informer, we have an entire new article dedicated to how the reputation and wanted systems work in this game. Nick, I particularly was very interested in the wanted system for this game just from seeing it that first time in the gameplay demonstration. I wanted to know all about this wanted system. How deep does the rabbit hole go? Will they be sending Darth Vader and Palpatine after me if I take things too far? Like, these are the questions that I want answered. So hopefully this article can help shed some light on how reputation works and then how the wanted system works in this game. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so this article does a really great job of providing some additional context to information that we already knew, on top of providing a bunch of new information about the gameplay in this game. And the first place I want to start is we learn that the gameplay loop for Star Wars Outlaws is directly tied to the reputation system in this game. And the quote is, very early on, we knew that we wanted to do a scoundrel story, and we knew we wanted the game to be about choice and consequences. And that is from the lead systems designer. And he continues by saying, so pretty naturally, reputation came as the medium for the player to interact with the game. That's the foundation for the game. And then we built the game around that. So all the features in the game are one way or another connected to the reputation. So Andres, we already knew going in that reputation was going to play a massive role in this game. But what it sounds like from this quote is that every single feature, the entire gameplay and loop of this game is all tied back to that reputation. And that makes a ton of sense given the fact that this is a scoundrel outlaw story. That just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I think this is ultimately what is going to set this game apart from other Ubisoft published titles. We've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, they're not looking forward to this game because it's just going to be another Far Cry or Assassin's Creed reskin with Star Wars on it. But it looks like this is going to be what differentiates this game from other titles. I can't remember an Assassin's Creed game where you had to please various different factions on top of all of the Assassin's Creeding that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So it looks like this is going to set this game apart from all of the rest. And also, I'm really glad to hear that reputation was at the core, that it's one of the core pillars of game design for this game. It's not just an afterthought that's going to make this game seem like an RPG light type experience. This mechanic has really been at the forefront and at the core of what this game is about, and that to me honestly gets me excited about this.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see that it is, like you said, a core pillar and not an afterthought. So that makes me confident that it will be well thought out, it will be robust, and there will be a lot of diverse and just a lot of options and stuff going on with that. And that's really exciting. And another thing we learn, or I guess we get more context about from this article, is how the reputation system will unlock new features, items, stuff like that. The quote from the article being, through having a good relationship with a syndicate, you can get access to more jobs to take on, better deals and special stock at shops, high-stakes sub-box tables, intel rumors, and more access to that syndicate's territory. Not only that, but if you get into trouble with another syndicate and you find yourself in a chase, a syndicate with whom you have a good relationship might jump in and help you get away. But it's never so simple. Massive assures me that as a scoundrel, you will get into trouble. So, Andres, we knew some of this information, but I think we have some additional context as to what the reputation system will unlock for you, the player, such as like the high stakes sabacc tables. I don't know if we knew that it would be high stakes sabacc tables, but now we learned that there will be different levels of sabacc. It sounds like kind of reminds me of what goes on with GTA Online, how there's the normal blackjack tables, but there's also the high stakes ones. That's what I'm reminded of. We also know now that you can get better deals and special stock at shops. And of course, the syndicate can jump in and help you if you get into trouble. We knew about that, but just cool to hear that again. And it just really sounds like, again, reputation system is that core pillar, and it's going to play a massive, if not the main role, in unlocking new content via gameplay for the player. Just a lot of cool stuff going on with this reputation system.
Yeah, and I know the concentration of this is on the reputation, Nick, but for me, what I'm really excited about here is what we've now learned about the economy in this game, because this is one of those points that I was initially concerned about, because of course this whole game is setting up this massive heist and you're a scoundrel, so money has to actually mean something in the economy of this game. That's a problem that we put forth when we started covering this game, and it's nice to see that this economy is starting to be fleshed out a bit. What can you do with your money? How far does your money and do your credits go in this game? And it looks like you will be able to shop in this game. There will be shops, and you can have special stock depending on which syndicates you have good standing with. And now we've also learned that you will be able to partake in this high stakes sabacc, and so it just gets my wheel spinning on the sorts of things we can interact with and how far does your money actually go? Is it just a number that goes up, or is it something that you can turn into actually tangible, cool stuff in this universe? That also kind of remains to be seen. I would love to see what sort of stuff you can buy. Like, let's say you win it big at a high stakes sabacc table. Why would you want to win it big? What are some of the things in this universe that you're saving up for? Like, can you buy really cool new weapons or really cool new outfits, really cool new skins for the Trailblazer? I want to see some of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And to continue, one of the more interesting points that we get from this article is all about how, when it comes to the reputation system, it's about finding a balance. And the quote that really stood out to me from this article is this one, where it says, "It's really about choosing whichever syndicate benefits her in the moment. It's really up to the player to decide how they want to balance their reputation throughout the game. You can go all in with one syndicate, but obviously at the risk of displeasing others, or you can try and play the underworld a bit more and try to find something a bit more balanced." And then another quote later on about the same thing, where it says, "I'm excited to see how the system reacts to player choices, particularly since when I asked creative director Julian Garrity if there's a way to max out all the syndicate's reputation meters, he says, not that I've been able to find." So, Andres, I find this really interesting that it sounds like this game was designed to where you can't just play everybody. You can't please everybody. You're going to have to pick and choose your battles. You're going to have to find a balance. Of course, you can go all in and support just one of them. If you want to become a proxy member of Crimson Dawn, you can do that, but you can't be a full-fledged member of Crimson Dawn and the Ashiga clan and the Pikes and the Hutts at the same time. You're going to have to pick and choose your battles. You're going to have to find that balance, and no matter what you do, you might make one person happy. At the same time, you're going to piss off another. So it's going to be all about finding that balance, and to me, that adds a lot to the replayability, because you could go one run doing one thing, and then you could come back and, support the Pikes this run, and then the Ashigas the next run. Like, this sounds like it adds a lot of replayability to me.
Yeah, and I was always wondering, can you please everyone? And it's honestly really interesting to learn that there isn't really, or at least to Julian's knowledge, there is no real way to max out every single reputation meter in this game. And another thing that I was wondering is, can you fix your reputation once you've completely destroyed it? Like, of course, you're building up this reputation to hopefully spend it down the line, but it sounds like we've also gotten some information on that front. The article describes a situation where the playtester had to screw over the Pike Syndicate, and they say still, even with that transgression against the Pike Syndicate in their own territory, you're never entirely cut off from any of the factions. After all, you're dealing with criminal organizations who are primarily concerned with how you can benefit them. If they think you're the right person for the job, they'll still let you do work for them. The article goes on to say, the way that people in the world react to K will vary depending on the reputation, but it's very transactional. These aren't friendships, so it's still very, okay, can K help you out in this moment? Nick, this is really interesting to me because it seems like you won't be backed into a corner. You won't be completely foreclosing yourself from certain areas in this game if you happen to make one accidental move that might lower your reputation with one syndicate. It looks like you'll always be able to rectify your reputation in some regard, and that things aren't really taken personal all the time.
Yeah, I really like the addition of this failsafe to the gameplay for the reputation system, because that is one thing that I was concerned about. Like, would there come a point in time where you've pissed off or gone against one of the syndicates so much that now you're locked out of certain items completely for that playthrough, or certain sabacc games or missions and stuff like that, and then you would either have to reload an old save or you'd have to wait till you could play through the game again. So I think this is a really smart addition that you can always get yourself out of that corner. Like, it's all about being transactional, and that makes sense given Star Wars. Like, we've seen a lot of instances throughout Star Wars where no matter how many times someone screws someone over, at the end of the day, it's all about business. And if you are the best person for the job, they're going to pick you for that job. So it's cool from a lore standpoint and a story standpoint, but it's also a very cool fail-safe for the gameplay in Star Wars Outlaws. And this article closes out probably with one of the most interesting things that we've learned recently for this game, at least for me personally, Andreas, and that is we have this whole section dedicated to learning about the most fearsome faction in the galaxy at this time, and of course, that is the Empire, and we learn that they're still the greatest threat, and that makes a ton of sense given when this game takes place. The article says, because the Empire holds such power, you don't have a reputation meter with them. Instead, the Empire reacts to you based on your wanted level. If you break enough rules, your wanted level rises. The more wanted you are, the worse the Empire makes your life. And it continues by saying, more Imperial troops join the hunt for you as your wanted level goes up, with the maximum level summoning elite enemies to hunt you down. You can try to hide to decrease your wanted level, but the higher your wanted level, the longer it takes the Empire to call off the search. You can also meet with corrupt Imperial officials who might take a bribe, or in the worst case scenario, participate in a challenging in-world event at the maximum wanted level to get the Empire off your back. So Andres, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We knew already that it had this kind of GTA style wanted system where you could hide and get away from the Empire, but it sounds like there's also like this kind of Assassin's Creed Ubisoft element where you can bribe officials. That reminds me of when you could go up to like the people in the town and get them to speak better about you to lower your wanted level, or you could rip posters down. But the most interesting thing to me that really made me pause and read it multiple times from this entire article is this line where it says, in the worst case scenario, participate in a challenging in-world event at the maximum wanted level to get the Empire off your back. What the hell could that mean? Like, that is a very, very interesting structured sentence.
Yeah, it is. And really, I think you can let your imagination run wild with this one. And of course, please let us know in the comments down below what you all interpret this to mean, because all of your interpretations are honestly just as good as ours here. And personally, I can only dream of what I'd like to see. Just speculating here, I'm thinking maybe you have an event that might trigger where you can take down a Star Destroyer, and then taking down that Star Destroyer buys you some peace, like you escalate it to that level. Or I don't know, I think you can run as wild as, you know, they send Darth Vader after you and you have to like 1v1 him and kill him. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Like that would just be too crazy, right?
No, it really is really crazy what this could possibly be. Maybe it has something to do with like legacy bounty hunters or just bounty hunters in general coming after you, and you can take them down. Like, there's all kinds of potential for this. And I think this system right here really speaks to the overall theme of what this game is, and it's risking it all. High risk, high reward. If you want to get away from the Empire, you can get your wanted level all the way up to maximum, and if you want to risk it all, you can take on this very high challenging in-game event to get rid of the Empire. So if you want to risk it all, you can, and I am really excited to learn what this possible in-world event could possibly mean. I really want to learn more about this, and hopefully we do over the coming weeks, maybe at the Ubisoft event in June, who knows. But guys, let us know your thoughts down below on all of this new information about the reputation system, the wanted system, the Empire. I think this is probably one of the most important features of this game. Like, they make it very clear that this is the core gameplay mechanic of this game. So a lot of cool, very relevant information for this game. Definitely let us know your thoughts down below. Also, if you want to stay up to date with us beyond just these videos and following us on Twitter, we also have a Discord server. We'd love to see you join us in there. The link to that will be down below in the description. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.